going on?
Hello and welcome back to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly Show. So, it is time for us to talk about toys again. So this week we're going to talk about a couple of toy lines that are quite close to me, close to my heart and all that. I love them. These are great. These are grotesque, ugly, weird creations. They fall quite in line with the whole kind of gross out 90s thing that I absolutely love. So straight from the minds of twisted imaginations, today we are talking Food Fighters versus the Grossery Gang. Right. So, Food Fighters were created by Mattel in 1988. They consisted of 10 figures, 3 vehicles, and 2 armies. Kitchen Commandos versus the Refrigerator Rejects. So yeah, Food Fighters were absolutely fantastic. They were a weird kind of sort of ugly looking toy line. They didn't do very well. They looked great, I thought. The TV commercials were absolutely fantastic as well, like really imaginative, really interesting. A lot of kids wanted them because of the commercials, and when they got hold of them, they were literally just kind of like dog toys with plastic arms and legs stuck to them, with some like army hats and guns and accessories. Not the most well-made figures, not the best articulation either, but a really crazy, interesting idea, and by a leading toy company at the time as well. So a strange, weird footnote in action figure history. So the problem with these toys in England is the fact that they've become really, really hard to get. So they're really scarce. You only ever seem to find them on eBay for going for ridiculous money. I'm not going to spend like £50 to £100 on a dog toy with arms and legs, no matter how good it is, no matter how cool the face is. I really want these toys, but yeah, they're really hard to find. You don't find them in charity shops or in toy markets or any of those kind of places. Jumble sales, boot sales alike. So if you happen to own a load of Food Fighters and don't want them anymore, then send them to this address right here. That's right, we will give them a good home and review them and all that stuff. Yeah, right. So anyway, I'll go into the only toy that I have from that line, and it's this fellow here. So here he is in all his splendour. That isn't the best example of what they look like, their face-wise. Some of them were absolutely amazing. But this one is a weird one. He's actually a very rare figure, and the reason for that being is that he is a variant. So he is one of the 10 figures, but he's kind of the 11th. This is the chocolate ice cream cone man, but he is a variant. So this is the orange snow cone. He's kind of cool, isn't he? So the reason I got hold of him was I recently bought like a massive box load of old 80s and 90s McDonald's and Burger King toys. They came in a big box, 20 quid for the whole lot. So I thought, yeah, okay, why not? There's some cool stuff in there. And this guy was in there. They must have just thought he was just a McDonald's or Burger King toy. I think I mistaken for a fast food toy because he kind of has that vibe. But what he actually is a food fighter, and a food fighter that I've seen going on the internet for about 130 quid. That's right. So I don't know why they're so expensive. I don't believe they should be so expensive. I think people are creating their own market by just upping the price of these things and then making everyone pay stupid money for them. And people will do it out of nostalgia. But I just love the way they look. I think the art's really cool here. Sadly, this is my only Food Fighter that I can display on this video. So I guess now we'll just move straight on to what I guess is kind of their modern equivalent. This is the Grossery Gang.
It's the Grossery Gang!
Shopping? It's going right!
The Gross Gang that live in a store!
Chip packets are where they hide!
Open up, what will you find?
For $1.50 you can collect!
So yeah, I used to find these things in Poundland. So they would sometimes you'd get them in these great big canister things. You could find little ones. So in Poundland you'd find little things like this, which is a toilet with Grossery Gang written on it. This would come with like some goop in it, but you get the little blighters in here. So here's a mouldy croissant. He's got the French moustache and the hat because he's French. He's a croissant, right? That's how that works. But yeah, they're cool. They're all little weird things like this. So they come in weird little things. So as part of this bundle that I got recently, here's a couple of things. These are like sort of fake drink cans. What's this one called? This is called Rotten Soda. got his teeth on it with like fillings and stuff. And this one's called Sticky Soda. There we go. Isn't it lovely? So yeah, let's get them out, shall we? I'm just gonna like pour them out. So yeah, they're really hard to get out. I forget. Okay, you won't take them all out, but you can see inside. This is jammed full of these guys. So let's give a little example. Let's grab a bunch of them. This is what they look like. So here is this guy. So yeah, cyborg-looking pineapple. It's a weird sleepy alarm clock. This is cool. He's like a gingerbread man. But the difference with these ones is these guys are made out of harder plastic, so they must be a slightly different set. There's so many of them. I could go through for hours just showing off the hundreds and hundreds that there are of these. But I won't. Let's get on now to the main characters. So here we go. So to begin with, there is this guy here. He's like a sort of burger man. Try and get him in focus. Isn't he cool? He's a Subway, actually, I think. He's like a sub sandwich, but also, you know, subhuman. I don't know. Really good articulation on these guys. As you can see, very similar to the old Food Fighters, sort of similar size and kind of built in a similar kind of way. They would go very well, you know, on the shelf together. Let's move on to the next one. So with obviously with some sort of burger sub thing, you need fries, right? So let's put him down here. And next we have this guy who is a cool kind of yeah, Mr. Chips. He fires a gun as well. Obviously, it's like a sort of bazooka. Yeah, he looks a lot like the Food Fighters equivalent, which had a kind of a red packet and the glasses on. Very similar though. It's got a kind of Frankenstein vibe going about him as well. I think it's a great figure. Once again, good articulation. Really quite cool, quite clever. Move on to this guy here, who is a pizza man. He's got a nasty whip, and yeah, a big mutated hand. Kind of like Toxic Crusaders, if you remember that toy line that came out in the 90s. So that's what I mean. It's got a real 90s kind of gross out sort of feel to it. Absolutely brilliant though. Obviously the Food Fighters one had like a Pepper Army eye patch, which was a stroke of genius, which I think these guys should have had, really. There's a barking dog in the background. And we move on here to, yeah, it's a donut, an angry donut man carrying a knife and fork. And the cool thing about this, if I can show you the example here. Great thing about this is that he opens up and you can put his arms and legs and just make him into a donut. I don't know why he does that, but I think it's a pretty cool idea anyway. Yeah. So now, I guess we'll move on to some of the other stuff. So what we have here, which I think is a really cool thing. This is like a sort of, well, it's a garbage truck, isn't it, really? There's no two ways about it. This thing here also works as a catapult, so you open it up and, oh, yep, it fires them off. It fires them off. A lot of these things come with kind of catapults and that kind of stuff. Loads of detail in it. Like, you can put them all in the back there. You can see on the sides of it. Even got cool stuff underneath. It's a really cool thing. He fits in there quite nicely, the Burger Man does. I don't know who's supposed to be in here, but I always put him in here because, you know, why not? And the button here releases the side doors, which is, there's a gun for someone to sit on here, where you can fire stuff off in that. There's plenty of room to put a load of them inside as well. It's a cool vehicle, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. The toy lines have to have good vehicles, I think. It's all part of the charm, really. And now we'll move on to this, which is a like a motorbike. It fires little rocket launchers on the side of it. It's got all the gross out stuff on it. It's got cool like skulls, cool stuff going on. There's a little flapping pizza here that also the top of it opens, and it's full of yeah, like little tiny Grossery Gang. Here you go, little tiny Grossery Gang pizza men and all that stuff. Fantastic. There's a little box in here as well, all kinds of stuff, little weapons and things. They fit onto the back of these as well. I don't know who's supposed to drive it, but I guess you'd put the pizza man on this vehicle. You'd be crazy not to, right? So, yeah. Isn't that a cool thing? It's like a horrendous thing from some kind of like Mad Max film or something. But, or Toxic Avenger film, I don't know. But, also, I forget to mention the characters all come with tiny versions of themselves, which are part of the little Grossery Gang stuff. You can stick him also on the bike, so he's got his little buddy there. I think that's a cool toy. I mean, any kid who grew up in the 90s would absolutely have loved this. It would have gone really well with your biker mice and your crash dummies. and your Toxic Avengers and all that other weird shit that we had. So now we're going to move on to what next? Right, let's go into the sets now. So here is the Grossery Gang shop. I think that's a really cool thing. The door obviously opens and closes. The door's a little dodgy though. Little flap here, you can put someone in that or some goo in that and that will come drizzling out. It also slides off and on as well. So we'll turn this around as it is as I said, the door's dodgy. It is a playset. And there we go, that's the inside of the shop. You can get things to put inside there. So we have this thing, which is like the till, and you press the till down, that also fires them off. And there's room inside to put them in there as well. And we also have like a microwave, and the microwave's a really cool thing. I mean, everything about this toy line is absolutely brilliant. So you put this little guy inside the microwave, you press that button down, and of course he comes up the bottom, which is just superb. And yeah, it's got great detail to it as well. Put that in your dollhouse and have your smashed up microwave in there. You also have this freezer as well, which has a whole bunch of these guys inside it. There's a little miniature version of the Fries guy. He seems to be in there at the moment. Yeah, so another cool thing. You also used to buy these. Some of these would come in little tiny boxes, like this one here would come in a box, and you open it up and it's got the 3 different ones inside it. Cool thing, you get little trash cans as well. So sometimes you get these bundled up with loads of them inside. I mean, it's kind of like combining your action figure with your mini Boglins and your Muscle Men and Pocket Monsters and all that stuff that we had in the 90s. So it's a real kind of homage to all of that, really. And here we've got the Slime Factory, which is another really cool thing. Because that also, you can put stuff inside, push that button, it all comes out. The little guys come out of there. This thing as well, it's got like a weird thing that goes on with it. You can launch them off the top of it. Yeah, another really cool thing. So yeah, there we go. There's a few nice, cool, funny, weird accessories for you. So that's basically the Grossery Gang. But yeah, I think a pretty cool toy line. Seriously fun stuff.
I can't remember why we fight anymore. I pray that someday this war ends. A day when there is no meat drawer, no veggie crisper, just food and food alike in one fridge, together.
So there we go, another video about weird toys. Join us again next time when we talk about something else. Please like, share, and subscribe to The Good, the Bad, and The Ugly Show.
Because there's no room left in hell.
Die if you want to.
You innocent pup.